Here with reaction, author of One Vote Away, Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, you have been, your constitutional analysis has been amazing. I want you to just take your time and lay out what is at issue here.
Well, look, the fundamental question is, are we going to follow the law? You notice the news media on Election Day, when you and I probably went to bed on Election Day seeing the same results. We saw that President Trump had won Florida, we'd won Ohio, we were leading in North Carolina, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin. It looked like a very good night. And all the news media was saying at the time, well, hold on, we don't know who won, we don't know who won. And then as the numbers shifted to Joe Biden, suddenly the instant they shifted to Joe Biden, the entire news media said, okay, now it's over, everyone shut up and go home. Well, that's not actually the way the system works. The way the system works is you follow the law. There are multiple lawsuits pending in multiple states. Those lawsuits have to be resolved, and there are serious allegations of violations of law. The right standard is that every single legal vote that was cast should be counted, but any votes that were illegally cast shouldn't be counted, and there's a way we resolve those. You know, one of the frustrating things as a citizen, you see all these tweets going back and forth. You see allegations of this happened, that happened. It's hard to know. It's hard for anyone to know, all right, is this true? What's true? The only way to know is we have a legal process. We have state courts, we have federal courts that can hear legal claims. And right now, it is incumbent on the Trump campaign's lawyers to go in and prove their case in court, to lay out evidence of illegally cast votes, to lay out evidence of what was done right, what was done wrong. And when the process is over, we're going to know the result. But we need to let the process play out, and much of the mainstream media doesn't want to let us do that.
When Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin law, like in the case of Pennsylvania, partisan observers may observe a polling location and stay until that time the counting of votes is complete. They can be present or an absentee, mail-in ballot. Okay. We now have real whistleblowers saying that didn't happen. What is the remedy for that?
You know, that is a challenging legal question, and it depends upon the votes that are at issue, and the remedy there is one the courts are going to have to wrestle with, because there's not a clear answer under the law. What we do know, particularly in bright blue Democratic jurisdictions like Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, jurisdictions like Detroit in Michigan, is that they deliberately frustrated the Republican observers from being there. In Philadelphia, they kept them 20 feet apart or 25 feet apart. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to look at a little bitty ballot from 25 feet apart, but you can't see the thing. And you're not an observer if you're 25 feet apart. And eventually the Trump campaign won a victory in Pennsylvania State Court to say they could be within 6 feet. Even 6 feet is pretty hard to see a ballot and make sure there's not cheating going on. We know that in Detroit, they put poster boards up to cover the ballot counting rooms.
That's illegal. Because Michigan law specifically says that elections are an open process that may be observed by any interested party. Those are the exact words.
Well, that's absolutely right, Sean. And the important thing to understand is these aren't just procedural niceties. The reason you have observers is to prevent fraud, to prevent ballot theft. And when you throw out one party or the other, it raises an inference that bad conduct is ongoing. Now, the fact that you or I might say that, or someone might tweet that, that's not conclusive evidence. That needs to be determined in a court of law.
What if it's determined,
though? I find it amazing that reporters are running around screaming, no, we can't resolve any of these legal matters. Anyone saying, let the litigation conclude and actually determine if it's consistent with law is somehow undermining our democracy. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And if they determined that they weren't allowed to observe, can you trust the result?
Well, you have to ascertain what were the ballots that were being counted there. Is there a possible way to segregate them? One possible remedy is to count them again, engage in a manual inspection with observers from both sides. It's got to be recount litigation. You know, you mentioned Bush versus Gore, and my book, One Vote Away, I talk about the Bush versus Gore case, that I was a young lawyer, part of the team there. Recount litigation is very specific. It is county by county. It is vote by vote. And it is demonstrating the facts. That's what we need, and we need to follow the law, follow the Constitution here.
Senator Cruz, you've been amazing.